Good day guys, you're welcome to the channel. So I will show you guys how I make use of supply and demand and how I trade from only solid supply and demand zones. So guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. We already know that supply zones are the zones whereby the market sell from, and demand zones are from the zones where the market buy from. For example, we have this is a demand zone. If the market gets to this point here, we'll be looking for a buy at this point here. So this is a demand zone, then a zone where the market sell from, like this. So this point here, this is a supply zone, this point here, and this is a demand zone. Now, this is how typically we draw it. Now, if you want to get good precise demand or supply zone, I make use of what we call the reaction zones. The reaction zones are places where the market has reacted previously. Example, we have this. We can see that this is a bullish push, and a bullish push, meaning that at this region there is high volume situated around here, and if the market comes back to this point, we'll be expecting a massive bullish move in the market. So if I'm taking my demand zone, instead of me taking this point as a demand zone, yeah, this is a demand zone, but I would prefer taking this as a demand zone. Why? Because at this point there is more confluence of the market going higher, because you can see, you can call this area support. You can see first rejection, second rejection, third rejection, and we have this as our demand zone. Once the market gets down to this point, we have over 60 to 70% probability of the market tapping here and pushing upward. This is what I use in refining my demand and supply zones. So we had a sell here. For example, we can see this is a reaction zone. We had a reaction here, we had a reaction, we also had a reaction here. When price came back to this point, we had a push downward, and when price was coming back to this point, this was a supply zone. So this point here, this was the supply zone, and once price came back to the supply zone, I look for a counter break of the trend line for an entry. So you can make use of any entry criteria, you can make use of pattern, you can make use of manipulation entry, you can make use of counter trend line, anyone that fits you. Even fair value gap, you can make use of that. You can make use of any entry criteria that fits with you. So for me, I make use of the counter trend line because it's very simple and easy. So this is a supply zone here, and I take my entry for the market to tank down. Let me show you another example we have in Euro JPY. So guys, last week I called a trade on Euro JPY around somewhere here. Now the reason of calling this trade, you can also see it clearly here, that this is a reaction zone. This point here is a reaction zone, and also we had what? We had a supply zone here. So supply plus reaction zone, you can see it here. The reaction zone, you can take this as a resistance, and if you understand it that way, you can see a push downward, a push downward, a push downward. And when price was coming back to this supply zone just here, this was the supply. What do we have? We had a push to the supply zone and a break of the counter trend line. I took my entry and the market tanked lower. So when I took my entry around somewhere here, it gave me 1:1. I broke even, hit me out. I took a second entry. If you're in the group, you see there when I post it. I took a second entry. The market came down and hit me out and take profit. Same with this level here. I did not take from this level, but if you notice, this is a demand zone. Why is it a demand zone? You can see here, this is a demand zone. And what do we have here? We have reaction points. You can see here, this is a reaction. These are previous reactions from this point here. Another reaction here. And we have a demand, meaning that this is adding as a confluence to this demand zone. And this is solid. As price came back to here, price tapped and pushed. So with this, you'll be able to filter a lot of the demand and supply zones you're using. Most of them are weak zones. For example, you just pick random zones and call them a demand zone or a supply zone. That's why you notice that your win rates start decreasing. So it's okay trading with these zones as long as your risk to reward is at least 1:3. If you're doing 1:2, at least maintain your win ratio above 40-50 and you're good to go. So for example, if the market gets to this point, it's a very solid point to buy. Why? You can see here, let's take this out. You can see that this is a reaction point. Market has rejected from here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's not a coincidence for something to happen 4 times. And once the market gets to this point again, you just modify your demand zone here. So this is a demand, and you take the trade from this point here. So once market gets to this point, it taps you in and you take it buy. This is how I make use of demand and supply. So guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And also, if you have any question, the Telegram group, the link is on the comment section and also in the description section. Thank you guys for staying till the end of the video. I'll see you in my next video, guys. Peace out, guys.